we have been spending like $400 to $500 per day, and we are getting around like 1,000 people registered to the webinar in a week. She literally had like 7,000 followers on Instagram, so she don't even have that kind of like the huge authority or something like that. We spent $3,400 in ads. She had 188 people show up. She closed 25 people on the room. That was like $12,500 on the webinar. And then right now she still have like 6 calls to go.
If your funnel is not converting, it's always one of those things. It's always the hook, the story, or the offer. Alrighty, so we are back and we're here with my friend Yogi, who's an amazing designer, and he does ads. He has his own marketing agency. So I love that he does funnels and ads, because oftentimes like people will just design the funnel, but then they don't know like how to get traffic to that funnel. And, you know, oftentimes when I'm working with someone, I'm like, I check to see if they have like their branding and, you know, like we're kind of like where they're at. And ads make a huge difference. And so he's been designing for several years now. Amazing, super talented, super knowledgeable at what he does. So I'm glad he's here so he could chime in and share his expertise. So do you want to kind of share, like, I know you've been posting on Facebook with some things that have been working for you. So
Yeah,
do you want to share what you're working on, what you love?
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, guys, I've been running a marketing agency where I've been building funnels, running ads, doing email marketing for my clients, and in the coaching space, basically. So we have been getting really good results recently with the webinar funnels. I've done like I will say the 4 best funnels that I love is one of the webinar funnels, challenge funnels, VSL funnels, and then self-liquidating offers. Like those are the best 4 funnels in 2025. That's what I feel, because those are the best funnels that I see right now working really great for any coaches out there or anyone who is trying to do sale info or anything. Those are working great. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just scaling coaching businesses.
That's awesome. Cool. Do you have any like tips that you could give them, like when it comes to maybe determining if they're ready for ads or not? Like, how do they know when it's time to run ads? Maybe do you have like a guideline with like budget and what to expect? Like, can you give them any advice?
Yeah, so it depends on funnel to funnel, but I will say if you are planning to run ads and if you are planning to go all in, then get started with at least $50 per day budget. Like that's where you can literally split test, and that's where literally you can like, okay, whether it is working or not. Otherwise you're like, okay, you're gonna spend $10, $15 per day. It's gonna take you like 7 days to see actually like, okay, what's going on. But if you're getting started with $50 per day budget or something like that, $50, $100 if you can spend up to that, then you will be like within few days, 3-4 days, you will get to know, okay, whether this is working, the offer is working or not. And then it depends on, let's say, what kind of funnel you're doing. Like, let's say if you're doing a webinar funnel. So if you're spending $100 per day, you can get like if you're doing a free webinar, if you're getting $3 per lead or something like that, which is like the industry standard, like $2-3 per lead. If you're doing a free webinar, so let's say if they are spending $100 per day, and then you can say like, okay, you're gonna get 30 people to register to a webinar in a day. So what we have been doing is right now we've been doing webinar for one of our client, and which is happening every Thursday.
Okay.
So we have been spending like $400 to $500 per day, and we are getting around like 1,000 people registered to the webinar in a week.
Wow.
So we are sending driving traffic from Friday until Thursday. So every Thursday she's doing the webinar. So we are spending around $3,000 to $3,500 in ad spend, and we are getting around, like, as I said, 1,000 people register. This is completely cold traffic, like complete cold. Like she literally had like 7,000 followers on Instagram. So she don't even have that kind of like the huge authority or something like that. But still, we are spending like $3,000. Like last week, we spent around $3,400. I was showing him the numbers, and we spent $3,400 in ads. She closed 25 people on the room. So she had 188 people show up. She closed 25 people on the room. That was like $12,500 on the webinar.
Wow.
But in the back end, she had all those 25 people going through the closure for a welcome call. And she closed around $8,200 so far.
Yeah.
So in total, she closed around like $20,700, like around $2,100, which is like 7x ROS.
Yeah, that's amazing.
For webinar. And then right now, she still have like 6 calls to go.
Wow.
So we are aiming for another 10K or something. So let's say we can like make around 30K. And that's how she's been making, like in the last 3 months, she made around 300K
Wow.
in the last 3 months by doing the webinar each week. So I was just like in the morning, I was thinking like when the Russell said it, that do a webinar for an year, you're going to get a 2 comma club. It is so true that if you do the webinar in the right way, you can make it. Like you can make
That's
a
so
2 comma
cool.
club for sure.
That's so cool. Hopefully that was super helpful for you guys, like hearing behind the scenes and what's working for him. And I need to run my own webinar. I haven't done that yet. Let's do that.
Yeah, I gotta do a webinar for sure.
Is there any other insight or advice or anything you want to encourage them with?
We can get over their questions or something so that we can just share
All right.
what's working for us.
You want to ask your question again?
Yes. One of my questions was, what makes a funnel good versus the ones that don't work? Like, how do I know the client's journey is going to be successful through this funnel?
You're gonna go first?
Like,
Go ahead,
you
go
want to
ahead. Go ahead.
That's a good question. So typically, I'm sure it's the same way with him. Like when we meet with the client, we talk about like we go through the whole journey. So we talk about like are they completely cold traffic to you guys? Do they already kind of know you a little bit? And then we talk about the end goal and like what you want to do in the end. Are you doing high ticket? Is it a low ticket? Like we go through the whole like thing before we even consider what type of funnel we want to do for you. So I think that's the big thing that because some people, I don't know about you, I've seen some people are like, we'll just do an application funnel and it's fine.
Yeah.
But you really have to sit and like take a look at all the pieces and figure out like, okay, well maybe a webinar is going to be better for you than a challenge is, or maybe
Yeah, it literally depends on like, let's say their authority, credibility, and when they are getting started, where they're just getting it started, or what kind of offer they have, what kind of audience they have.
Yeah.
Like those all factor matters.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
So we always look at that stuff first. And then when it comes to actually like building the funnel and what makes like a funnel good and what makes a funnel not good, I've seen ugly funnels convert. And so for me, like messaging is a really big thing, like the messaging and the hook. So you'll hear Russell often say like it's always the hook, the story, or the offer. If your funnel is not converting, it's always one of those things. And I'm like, design is just like an additional like bonus to it. I feel like design helps with it, but like I always like to identify like, okay, if it's not working, we change the hook or the messaging of it, or even the story of it. I don't know about you, like if, I feel like those are like my main things that I'm looking for is like the hook, story, offer. Then I also look at the design and I figure out like, okay, well maybe they're missing. I've gone on challenge funnels before where they don't even have the date anywhere on the like anywhere on the funnel whatsoever. And I'm like, well, how are people supposed to know like when your challenge is if you don't even have the date on the funnel? So like it's also like paying attention to the little details too, and just making sure like if you were the customer seeing your own funnel, like do you have all the details that you need? Like, how long is it? What time is it at? Is it free or paid? Is this for me? Is this the right fit for me? Like who's speaking? All those core things.
Yeah, if you give us like a little bit details about exactly what kind of funnel you're trying to build out, then it will be helpful to answer the right question.
So what if someone only has a high ticket offer right this second, like a service based offer? What type of funnel would be the best? Like, do I need to create a lower ticket offer to move them through the funnel successfully to the core offer, or?
So how much is the offer?
10,000.
Okay, and what's the offer about? Like, what's the audience you're targeting?
Someone teaches how to get your first deal in commercial real estate without using your own money.
Okay, so like, what is the audience you're targeting?
Already real estate investors.
Okay, already real estate investors. So the best way, like if you are selling a 10K offer, right? So you can either do a challenge as well, but again, all these people might not show up on the challenge. The best and easiest way is doing the VSL funnel. Like just have a 10-minute long VSL explaining what you do, what you're gonna help them with, and then book a call. Application, book a call. So that's way, like let's say you are spending $100 per day as well, $200 per day or whatever it is, you can get one appointment for $200, which is, let's say if you spend $2,000, you're getting 10 appointments. From 10 appointments, if you're closing one, you're still getting 5x ROS, like $10,000 sale. So you're still getting 5x ROS. So VSL funnel is like let's say if you're selling a high ticket or something like $10,000. So best for selling a high ticket in this case, when you are talking about the real estate space, it can be a VSL funnel, it can be a challenge funnel if you're selling like literally high ticket like 10K, 15K. But whether these people will attain the challenge for 3 days or not, that's another question. Like, let's say if they're real estate investors, so are they gonna attain the challenge for 3 days or no? So like you can do a challenge funnel, you can do a VSL funnel, but best way to get started, if you are like, okay, like challenge is like you gotta do a lot of work, like the presentation, 5 days of work, like
a lot.
like promotions and all that stuff. The VSL is like, okay, you just record a 10-minute video, put it on the page, do the application, book a call, you target to the people, and within 3-4 days you can literally launch it. Within 7 days you can launch it. So that's the best and easiest way to get it started. And then moving forward, once you get the results, once you have some sales coming in, and once you build out the audience, if you have the audience, that's a different thing as well. Let's say if you already have an audience, if you're yeah, so if you have an audience like, let's say 10,000, 20,000 people, then you can literally do a challenge for them because you already have an audience which is already warm. But if you're doing it completely with the cold traffic, then you should be like, just do a VSL, because let's say cold traffic is not going to show up for the challenge. Like the numbers gonna vary. Like let's say if you have warm traffic, like they are going to show up for a 3 days, 5 days challenge. But for the cold traffic, it's kind of hard to get them to a challenge and stick them for 3 days, 5 days. So the best way is the VSL funnel, book a call. If you're getting $100, $200 per appointment, and if 10 appointments, if you're closing one, you're still getting that kind of ROI. So you just gotta look up to that numbers.
Yeah, I agree with that. A VSL funnel would be really good. The other thing you could do too, like Pedro's been doing 3-hour workshops. So instead of like a traditional like webinar where it's like only 60 minutes or 90 minutes or however long it is, he'll do a 3-hour workshop. So that way it's like that, but like they're not committed to a full challenge. I love challenges. Obviously, I've seen challenges work. They are a lot of work on both ends for like the person running them and then the audience that has to attend them. And they do really well when done right. But like what I love about this now shorter condensed 3-hour workshop thing is like they're building more time and trust with you. So I think like VSL is great, like because especially like they already know what they're looking for, you know, like it's very straight to the point. And I love the book a call, like VSL, the book a call is such a good strategy. But like if you feel like the audience might want to know you a little bit more before they drop 10K on it, then I would consider doing like a 3-hour workshop, webinar, 100%. Masterclass, whatever it is. So they could just like get to know you and trust you a little bit more. And then you pitch in that last hour of the 3-hour workshop.
It depends totally on the audience as well. So I'll share this, one of the case studies, like one of the previous client that I had, she has an in-house team right now, but I was just on a call with her 2 weeks before, and she literally spent 100K on ads and she generated 800K in revenue in the back end. So how she did it is, so she's sending traffic. So she's in the government contracting niche. She has like $25,000 offer. So she has a $50,000 offer, but right now she was doing a challenge and she sold a $25,000 offer. So what she did is she bring people, she did a webinar. So she was doing like, let's say she did a 4 or 6 webinar, something like that. She bring people to the webinar, which is free. On webinar, she sold a challenge ticket, which is $397. Okay. So on webinar, she's not selling any course or anything. She's selling a 5-day challenge. So she did 4 or 6 webinars. She spent 100K in this, getting people into the webinar. And then on these challenges, let's say $397 ticket, right? So all these 4-6 webinars that she did, she got around 220 people registered for the webinar. For the challenge, for which is $397. And then from those 220 people for 5 days, 189 people show up, because obviously someone is paying $397. They're gonna show up for 5 days. So 189 people show up on the webinar, on the challenge. And on the challenge, she sold $25,000 offer and 30 people bought the offer from 189 people. And those 30 people were like, I think they paid like in the payment plans, obviously, she collected overall like $350,000 upfront, and then the rest of the 450 or whatever it is in the payment plan, 400K.
Can I add something over
Yeah, go ahead.
I just walked in, so I didn't know the full question. But from what you were saying at the end, I think you should consider doing a low ticket first. Like before going into that, like maybe it's a $7 low ticket offer that basically gives them the whole like shebang of what you kind of will teach them, because that's like a buyer is 40 times more valuable than
Yeah.
a lead.
Yeah, 100%.
So once you have that, and then they sign up, you have their email address, then you can enroll them to like a soap opera sequence or whatever that kind of provides value.
Right.
And then like can do the Seinfeld kind of sequence as well on there. But now you're warming them up over time to like like even in the back end too, you can use the load to get offer and then kind of drive them, and all of these soap opera or the Seinfeld email sequences can be pushing people to that VSL
Right.
challenge. So because people probably would not want to like spend like 10. Some people will, but
Yeah.
everybody will be willing to spend $10,000 in that like get go.
Yeah.
You need to create something that nurture them over time.
Yeah.
To build that like affinity with them, or eventually to kind of enroll them into the VSL.
Yeah, the self-liquidating, that's the self-liquidating offer. So she talked about like this is the trust recession period right now, and that's what happening right now with all this online sales and all that stuff. So self-liquidating is working really good. Like we recently ran a self-liquidating offer. What we are doing is like doing a $7 offer in the front end and then selling $27, $47, $97 offers in the back end. So that guy got around like we got 150 plus sales, but in the back end from those 150 plus sales, obviously like they are getting on appointment. Like let's say immediate after they buy a $7 offer, we are sending them a text, hey, we are offering this free strategy session or something like that, and then we are getting them on a call and then closing for $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 offer in the back end, or even 10,000. And those are like best buyers because obviously if someone is spending $7 or $27, they are like high qualified leads. So those are way better than the free leads. But the self-liquidating offer, only thing about it is you have to have a really good product, like $7, $17, 27. You got a like really good product, or not really good. I mean, you got a really good product, but I mean, like you have to split test with it, or you have to play around with it. You can't just like, okay, just gonna launch a $7 offer and gonna work out. It's not gonna happen like that. So you have to have a really good system in the back end, like let's say with self-liquidating $27, $47 offers, which are like what they want actually at that moment, and that's how you're gonna self-liquidate. Otherwise, let's say you are spending, but anyways, like let's say if you're self-liquidating like 70-80% of ad cost as well. So let's say if you're spending $100 and getting 70 or $80 back from this self-liquidating funnel, but you're still getting those 10 buyers which are really good leads, so that funnel still work. Like that funnel is the best one, I would say.